5:30.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Jamie. How are you guys?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
I'm good. John says hi. He got to eat lunch with Robert at Bim Bim Bap, and I told him we were offended, and so I rubbed it in his face that I get to hang out with you tonight, and he's like, "Well, tell her I say hi." I'm like, "Well, that's very civil of you."
Not sure when they were eating lunch. It's not the first Friday. This is unacceptable. Hey, Grayson.
They were both in the office today, and John's been walking down and eating lunch by himself at restaurants, and so Robert was there today, and they went together.
Aw, John could come find me. I'd go eat lunch with him.
That's what I said. I was like, "You should have called me."
And we are live, and I'm going to hit record. I think we're just missing Carol, but I'm not 100% sure.
And Kelly, right?
Oh, and Kelly, yes. And Tom.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Patty. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Good. Excited we got a little bit of rain and blue sky in the same day. Can't ask for more than that.
Yes.
Okay, and it looks like everyone is here except for Tom, and it is 5:30.
Can we start without Tom? Is that permissible?
I
I think that's fine.
think so.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa.
I didn't. All right, I'm going to use a little Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile whistle for my gavel tonight. So I will now call to order the May 20th meeting of the Salem Historic Landmark Commission. Will the recorder please take roll call?
Commissioner Cottingham,
Here.
Commissioner Kerdeman,
Here.
Commissioner Fuller,
Here.
Commissioner Mulvihill,
Here.
Commissioner Ponce,
Here.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman,
Here.
Commissioner French,
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
All present. We have quorum. Sorry, that was out of order. I just realized I didn't put them in alphabetical order.
You got to keep us on our toes. We can't get too used to it. Awesome. Thanks, Zach. So will the commission will now hear testimony from the public concerning items not on the agenda. Is there anyone wishing to speak at this time?
We have no members of the public attending today.
Awesome. So we will now consider the approval of the April 15th minutes. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
Perfect. So Commissioner Mulvihill moved and Commissioner French seconded to approve the April 15th minutes. Are there any corrections? Awesome. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Awesome. The minutes pass. We have no design or public hearings for design review tonight. And since it is May, we have a full agenda of exciting Historic Preservation Month activities and awards. Kimberly and Zach, I'll let you get us started.
Thank you, Tracy. So we are going to first talk about the general awards that the Landmarks Commission is going to be presenting tonight. And I don't want to share my screen yet, Tracy, because we're going to start with the Chair Award. And I just want to turn it over to you. And after you announce what award you would like to be presenting for 2021, then we can move on and discuss the other awards that the commission can make a decision on who they want to give awards to. So you take it back away.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thanks, Kimberly. So since we started talking about Historic Preservation Month awards last month, I've honestly been agonizing about who or what should receive this award. And of course, only I can take something fun and turn it into like the most stressful event possible in my life. But yesterday I was in a free fall spiral of despair, as I wrote, and it just hit me like, duh, I figured it out and I knew exactly who I wanted to give my 2021 Chair Award to. I have not told anyone this person, only my cats know. So I don't know, Lisa or Kimberly, if I picked the wrong person, don't get mad at me. And I'm going to try to build up some suspense. And I wrote a little thing here. So this person that I've selected has done something truly remarkable for Historic Preservation Month, or for historic preservation in Salem, and really the entire state of Oregon. They're a person who others are constantly turning to for advice and guidance and help, and this person always responds and is willing to assist them. They mentor and support interns and help to provide them with real-world experience so they can make a difference in their careers and their chosen communities. This person has built an entire archaeology program out of honestly nothing, going back to school because they saw a need and they wanted to fill it because they knew it was the right thing to do. And because of them, today Salem has an archaeology lab and so many endless public archaeology opportunities, outreach, education. They honestly have created a space for meaningful tribal consultation, and they hold every project accountable for ensuring that tribal resources and archaeological sites are considered in project development. And this includes having the mayor sign an MOU with Indian tribes, something that very, very few cities can say that they've done, and it's because of this person. They brought interpretation to our downtown. They work with groups to make sure that the right thing for history happens. And they brought diverse groups to our Landmark Commission so that we can be aware of the variety of preservation opportunities in our community. They host a remarkable amount of public involvement and engagement, especially in the last year and a half, helping to craft our preservation plan. Let's be honest, they wrote our preservation plan for us, pulling it out of the fire and making it something that we're all really proud of. They set realistic and important goals, and then they constantly are leveraging programs and ideas and their own enthusiasm to help make those goals happen. They've been recognized on the national level for their work. They've crafted city code that allows for us as a Landmark Commission to get away from tedious design review and actually do preservation for our community. We don't see a lot of projects because this person is making sure that projects are being done in the right way and meeting the preservation standards. I hope it's not lost on any of us that at the end of almost every applicant that comes, they thank this person for their hard work, their assistance, and making sure the process is easy and accessible. We're not the hysterical design review commission because of this person, and that's truly remarkable. We always have way too many applicants for every open spot, which is really great and not something a lot of communities have happen. More importantly, they were one of the first people that I met in Salem outside of those in my office. They took the time to talk with me about preservation opportunities. Even if I didn't want to be on the HLC, they presented endless things that I could do. They've pivoted seamlessly to this digital format to help keep us all going. And this is just the list that I came up with off the top of my head. I know that we can all have a much longer list available. But most importantly, they're a friend to all of us, and they make sure that we have fun. They bring snacks, they call us, they text us, they email us, they put together a Christmas party with a gift exchange, and they're there for us, especially over this last really difficult year. This poor person has had to listen to me have meltdowns more often than anyone should, and I thank them endlessly for that. They've shown grace, empathy, and friendship to all of us. That's not in their job description. Everything I just listed is things that they go above and beyond to do. They don't have to do these things. They do it because it's the right thing to do and because they're passionate about preservation in Salem. I think you all know who it is by now, but drum roll please. I'm very excited to award my 2021 Chair Award for Historic Preservation to Kimberly Fitzgerald.
Oh my gosh, I'm just like absolutely speechless. And thank you so much.
Watching your face as I as you
so
see yourself.
kind. I think I was just on site earlier this week doing an inspection, talking to a property owner, and I spent a lot longer than I probably should have. And at the end of it, they were just thanking me for this program. And I said, well, I don't do it alone. I can't do it alone. And then I also said, don't tell anyone, but I would do this even if you didn't pay me. Lisa, because I just love it so much. And And so this just means, this means more to me than anything in the world. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
I had this revelation halfway through our call yesterday, and I was like, don't let her know that I'm picking her.
And I was like so worried. I was just like, oh yeah. Well, I'm glad you're very kind. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Kimberly, for everything that you do. And yeah, I can't wait to give you a big hug and your award in person.
I know.
So.
I don't know how to follow that with my. Well, thank you so much. Did you want to do anything, say anything else about?
No, I probably took way longer than I needed to, but I couldn't cut myself off. I kept thinking of more and more things. So, and I didn't cry, which is the true accomplishment. And before tears start to flow, I will pass it back.
Okay.
For
Well, I'm going to share my screen, so I'll be smaller so I don't. Okay, cool. So now we're going to shift gears and talk about the Ben Maxwell Award nominees. So you should be aware of these from your packet, but we've got two for you to consider. There was a subcommittee, and I don't know if Carol, if you want to take the lead in talking about these or not, but we've got, as you guys recall, or those of you that were on the commission when it came before you, 260 State is a great example of a new construction in our downtown historic district. And this one is micro apartments that are going to be providing very needed housing in our downtown. And this was a vacant lot for many, many years. And I'm sure, as Lisa remembers, it went through quite a few different approvals before this one finally got approved, and now it's built, and we're super, super excited about that. It's Cause Development and Linda Nishioka are the owners and developers. And then the other option, also a great project, this one didn't come before us formally like as a design review, but this is the amphitheater, which it's been a partnership, a collaborative partnership between the Rotary and the city of Salem. And so the Rotary, they chose to do this design to celebrate 100 years of service to the city of Salem. And they were very, very, from the beginning, very intentional about working with the tribes and developing a design, and that innovative design, if you've seen it, and there's a picture here, is inspired by the open weave basket pattern of the Kalapuya. And just in the implementation of it too, the City of Salem Public Works and the Rotary have just been really conscious about wanting to do the right thing in terms of the development in this really sensitive area, and have worked with archaeologists and made sure to communicate effectively with the tribes during the ground disturbing activity part. I wouldn't want to be you in terms of picking which one, but these are the two choices available to you. And I turn it over to Patty and Carol if you want to say anything.
Yeah, you stated it pretty well, sort of summarizing our thinking with these particular projects. And again, for newer members, when we're picking awards, we do consider things that the board, the commission has been involved with or made decisions on. But it kind of will follow an ebb and flow of things that have been happening, sort of lagging back a year or so, because usually we review things, but then the project or the change or things happen later. But in both of these cases, they are, a new construction type of a project, but they just really, at least in my opinion, they really contribute to the resource as a whole, which is the downtown neighborhood. So by filling that, for example, the 260 State Street, it did come to commission, as Kimberly said. I can't remember when, It's been a long time coming, but it did really fill in, and it just fits right in of adding, supporting the resources that are historic to the period of significance by having another building down there that has that same, size and massing and traditional type of uses with a mix of residential and commercial. So really just helps. And then same, the Riverfront Park, just the community involvement, the focusing on not just like that it's an amphitheater, but thinking about ways to recognize tribes and consider that. And then again, it's a project that just really brings people in to appreciate the history. So it's not just that our historic, we have some building designated downtown, but really just bringing people in to appreciate that part of Salem.
Thank you. Oh, wait, you're running this, Kimberly. Sorry.
No. I'm done. You guys take it away now.
Kimberly, can I ask a clarifying question? Do we just pick one Ben Maxwell, or do we have the option for any of these to pick multiples if we decided as a commission to do that?
Great. This is your award. So you can do it however you want. However you want. In the past, we've given more than one award in this category.
Okay. So I will open it up to discussion. Let me pull up the participants. If you guys can raise your hand, if anyone has comments or thoughts, you can make a motion. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Thank you. I agree with what Carol was saying about both of these projects, and I agree with the recommendation here about 260 State. I remember when this came in front of us, I don't know, a couple of years ago now, and they had to come modify some things like the windows and different things, but there was always such an enthusiasm from the applicant with this project and getting things done with this. And I know every time I go downtown and drive by this building or just look at it, I just feel like this is such a nice sign of, what could possibly happen with some of the other lots downtown, kind of looking toward the future along Commercial Street or along Liberty Street and some of the empty lots of a development like this. So I'm all for awarding the Ben Maxwell Award to this project, and I'm happy to move to accept the recommendation that the subcommittee provided on this.
Do you want to make that
Yes.
motion? Okay.
Yes, I move to accept the subcommittee's recommendation and award the award to 260 State.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, Steve.
All right, so Commissioner Zimmerman moved and Commissioner Pons seconded to approve the recommendations of the subcommittee to award the Ben Maxwell to 260 State Street. I do see Commissioner French and Fuller that you have your hands up. I'll call on you during debate if that works. So Commissioner Zimmerman, to your motion.
Oh yes, like as I was mentioning, I just think it's such a strong project for right downtown with some of the empty lots that we've had, and considering that specific corner had been empty for so long since the furniture store fire, I think 2005, that it's refreshing to see a project of that scope come to completion downtown, and hopefully it will help to kind of seed some other projects downtown as that one gets filled and there's a little more momentum behind things.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Zimmerman. Commissioner French.
Thank you. I actually really like both of these projects. The State Street, I drove through there the other day, and it's really nice. It kind of makes that tie between the historic downtown and all the riverfront development that's been going on. It fills in that block, and it does rhyme really well. It'll look even better, I think, when there's the hotel on the other end, as kind of pillars of that block. But I'm also I know there's already been a motion, but I really appreciate the thought that went into the Riverfront Park project. That is the traditional homeland of the Kalapuya people and having that kind of impact, a lot of people won't notice the subtle impact that it is. They did a really good job mirroring the design into a modern amphitheater, but just kind of preserves that space for the people that called it home and have since time immemorial. And it's really a neat project. So I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring and say maybe both, because Kimberly said we could, and giving out more awards is always funner than giving out less. And that's all I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner French. Commissioner Fuller.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to follow with what Commissioner French was speaking on. That I think that this is we're looking at two projects that I think are very worthy of this award for two different reasons. Yeah, 260 State Street is helping to bring more life back into the downtown. It fits really well with the surrounding area. You know, everything that we've been talking about. And I think that the Riverfront Amphitheater, on top of showing a relationship with the Kalapuya, I think that this is important as it provides a kind of a third space for the people of Salem. It's something downtown that people in Salem could go and engage with that doesn't necessarily require them to either live downtown or spend money downtown. And I think that's a great use of the space, especially a public space like the park that it's in. So I think as a new construction, it provides a kind of use, a different kind of use than some of these other buildings that are already extant down there. So I think that it is absolutely deserving of an award for outstanding new construction in a historic area, in my opinion. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Fuller. Is there any other discussion? Oh, Commissioner Cottingham.
Well, just, I think, I can't remember my rules of order here. I think we can amend, if we want to add to the motion, I think we can propose an amendment and then vote on the amendment and then vote on the motion. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was going to say we can either amend this current motion to add, if we would like to add the Riverfront Amphitheater, and then, yeah, we could vote on that and then vote on approving both, or we could vote down the current motion to just approve 260 State Street, nothing personal against Commissioner Zimmerman, and then make a new motion to do both if we'd like. So whichever one we want. Commissioner French?
I will move to amend the motion to award both properties, both projects, I guess.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Great. So Commissioner French moved and Commissioner Cottingham seconded to amend the motion to award the Ben Maxwell Award to both 260 State Street and the Riverfront Amphitheater. Commissioner French, to your motion.
I think I've said everything I need to say.
Is there any other debate about the amendment? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of amending the motion to award the Ben Maxwell Award to both 260 State Street and the Riverfront Amphitheater, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, no. All right, hearing none, the amendment passes. So the motion is now to award the Ben Maxwell Award for outstanding new construction in a historic district or sensitive historic area to both 260 State Street and the Riverfront Amphitheater. Is there any further discussion? I will just close it out then by saying I think both of these projects are great, and I'm really glad that we've decided to award them to both. I may have asked that question at the beginning, hoping to lead us down this direction. I think Commissioner Fuller and French and Cottingham and Zimmerman have really summed it all up beautifully. That these are, I think, two great examples of projects in our downtown that are so different, but also so amazing and great, and really span this notion of time and community and different cultures that all occupy Salem, and we can all just enjoy them in the future. And that is all I have. So all those in favor of approving the motion to award 260 State Street and the Riverfront Amphitheater the 2021 Ben Maxwell Award, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Awesome. Congratulations to both of those projects. And with that, we will move on to the Virginia Green Award.
Great, thank you, Tracy. Sharing my screen again. The committee just had one recommendation then for the Virginia Green Award, and that would be the Salem Culture and Heritage Forum. So this was a group that was started here in Salem after the city of Salem won achieved the Heritage All-Star status. And they've been working since 2014 to collaborate on projects and communication. And they've done some key, really cool projects, which I think we've presented about before in the past. They're currently working on developing a wayfinding map and interpretation. And their current chair is Yvonne Putz, and they have done also some really cool videos. So this group, I don't believe they have not been recognized previously by the Landmarks Commission. So that's my summary. I don't know, Carol, if you or Patty, if you have anything to add to this.
I don't have anything to add. I think that captured it quite well.
I'm going to stop sharing so you can see each other.
Awesome. So is there any discussion regarding the Virginia Green Award or a motion?
I'll move to award the Virginia Green Award to the Salem Heritage and Culture Forum. That was what it was.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Right. Sorry, Commissioner Thomas. Awesome. Well, Commissioner French moved and Commissioner Cottingham seconded to award the Virginia Green Award to the Salem Culture and Heritage Forum. Commissioner French, to your motion.
I got to work with this group a little bit when I first started on the commission and got to go to some of their meetings, and they're just trying to pull all of these disparate tourism groups together that are all focused around heritage. It's a big job because they're all volunteers. They're all doing it on their own time. And I think it's just they've done some really wonderful things for the city and for a long time. And it's nice to recognize them.
Thank you, Commissioner French. Commissioner Thomas, did you want to say anything? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna, add that, yeah, they've been pretty phenomenal with the, I guess, what we're calling the wayfinding project, which is, our multimodal tour project that we're working on. Where I can give more of an update later on the committee reports, but yeah, we started it, and then they've kind of Yvonne and Ross. I don't know if this is. If we want to add Ross to this, because he's also been a very big part of this group. He's the vice chair, and they've been essential in really moving this forward. I mean, it's taken all of us, and thank them, and Jessica too really stepped up with our group when last April when I was kind of down and out for a month. But yeah, I would definitely support the motion to award this to the Salem Culture and Heritage Forum.
Commissioner Ponce, is your hand up?
No.
Okay, no worries. Just checking. Is there any other discussion? Awesome. Well, yeah, I agree. I think this is a wonderful organization for this award, and I really appreciate that they pull from so many different groups to make kind of one forum, and it's so great. Commissioner Thomas, I'm glad you spoke, because it is nice that we have a presence on that group, and again, I think it allows us to kind of leverage a number of different things to meet kind of our larger community-wide preservation goals. So I think that's wonderful. So all those in favor of awarding the 2021 Virginia Green Award to the Salem Culture and Heritage Forum, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Wonderful. The motion passes, and back to Kimberly for the brand new first time ever Cultural Landscape Award.
Thank you, Tracy. So yeah, this is a brand new award, and we've got two different organizations for you to consider. the Mission Street Parks Conservancy, and they're a relatively new group. And I think I'm going to turn this over to Carol because I think he knows a lot more about these two groups than I do. But I do want to just mention I've got a few things on your screen here about the Conservancy. I did go and walk around Bush's Pasture Park. See how sunny it is, and I was I have a picture there of one of their interpretive kiosk things, and I think it's just, I was amazed. They've done just a wonderful job, and they even have an interactive map on their website. So they've done a wonderful job, and I don't want to not mention the Lord and Scriver Conservancy. They've also done a wonderful job as well, and they are doing a lot of work around the garden, especially at Gady Hollow. So I will stop now and let Carol talk about this. I think he knows the most about it.
I wasn't prepared for this, but that's okay.
I'll stop
yeah,
sharing. So you can...
No, so for both of these organizations, as far as thinking of cultural landscapes and sort of someone to award in Salem or in the Salem area, there's not like a specific, just like one big property that's, been put under an easement or that there's one group doing one thing. But both of these groups working physically very closely, have done a lot over the years. And I don't have it in front of me, but for the Mission Street Parks Conservancy, it's actually had a few names and evolution over the years, both helping with the Bush, the gardens at the Bush House at first, and then evolving both to having the projects such as interpretive signs that have been up, which Kimberly referenced, as well as the ongoing sort of natural conservation in Bush Park, including supporting the camas and other wildflowers in the oak savanna, and the gardens around the house. And then, of course, the Lord and Shriver Conservancy. It's the same thing. It's been a lot of volunteer hours and a lot of hard work to really take care and make those properties. Deepwood, I believe they take care of Deepwood as well. So I apologize if I'm incorrect to that, but the gardens at Deepwood and of course the gardens at the Lord and Shriver House, Gady Hollow, to just maintain a really amazing property that was owned and taken care of by Lord and Shriver. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Cottingham. Is there any discussion about these two nominees or a motion? Any thoughts or feelings? Again, if we choose, we can, award two again. Oop.
There's a hand
Commissioner
up.
Fuller.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Fuller, sorry.
I think that, do I need to make a motion to begin talking about this?
No, we can either just have open discussion right now, or if you'd like to make a motion with your idea, that can head us in that direction. Up to you.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to award the Cultural Landscape award to this Mission Street Parks Conservancy. I absolutely think that work that is done on this big area absolutely hits the notion of cultural landscape. I mean, and especially if they're talking about the ecology and the history and the place and the anthropology, like they're bing, 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 they're hitting those bells, I think perfectly, to let the people of Salem that go and visit this park for whatever reason that they do, for like soapbox derbies or jogging or picnics or whatever it might be, the depth of time and the kind of place that exists, like place in the big picture kind of place. So I really, I absolutely motion for the Mission Street Parks Conservancy to get this Cultural Landscape Award.
Because I let my parliamentary procedure guard down and I let you debate. before we got a second, but that's okay. That's on me. Okay, so we have a motion to award the Cultural Landscape Award to the Mission Street Parks Conservancy. Is there a second?
Second.
Perfect. So Commissioner Fuller moved and Commissioner Mulvihill seconded. Is Commissioner Fuller, anything else you'd like to say to your motion?
No, I jumped the gun there. So
We both let our guard down. It's okay. Is there any other discussion? Anyone, any other comments? No, so I'll close it out again. This is a group I actually did not know existed until last week when Commissioner Cottingham brought it to the group, and I was going through their website, and I can't believe I didn't know about them. They're just seem like an awesome group and really are doing a lot to the cultural landscape down in Bush Pasture Park, which because of Commissioner Cottingham's wonderful presentation last week, we're all kind of experts on, or last month, sorry. So yeah, I think they sound like a wonderful group, and maybe in the future they could come to a landmark commission and present on some of their efforts so we could get to know them a little bit better. So all those in favor of awarding Mission Street Parks Conservancy the 2021 Cultural Landscape Award, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Wonderful. So congratulations to all of our 2021 Historic Preservation Month award winners. I think we have a great group. And then over the next month, I will work with Kimberly to get those awards out. And with that, we will move to the photo contest. I will pass this off to Zach. Remember our rules, guys. We're sticking with our voted on winners.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. I have a presentation on the results. So just as background for anyone who might be watching, our commissioners did a preliminary voting ahead of time to kind of narrow down to some finalists, and only the top 2 photos from each category are being discussed tonight. I have a complete rundown of all of the voting just so that it's in the record. There are some that got every single vote from all of our commissioners in their category, and then some that had either a perfect split between the top 2 or were split exactly halfway down the middle. So our first category is historic exteriors in the submitted by adults, and this was a group that the top 2 both got 3 votes, so they don't have a clear majority, but that was the most votes that any photo got. So on the left, we have Cool House, and that received 3 votes. And on the right, we have Investing in History, and that also received 3 votes. So it's up to the commission to break that tie.
Zach, do we want to do them category by category?
I suppose I can either go through them all, or we can do them category by category. Which would you prefer?
Let's do category by category,
Okay.
if that's okay, since we have it up, and that way we can focus.
Sure.
So I think, so is there any discussion between these 2 photos?
So this is Patty. So I think Cool House. I think the Investing in History is a neat photo, but I don't think it really actually shows much of the architecture of the actual house itself. I think it's a cool photo. And I think if this is supposed to be about the exterior, the photo, in my opinion, that actually shows the exterior to the best is the Investing in History, the bank building where I bank. You can see the architecture there, whereas the one on the left it's a cool shot, particularly with the ice storm, but I don't really think you actually see most of the actual historic nature of the structure itself.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Mulvihill. Any other conversation between these 2 pictures? Commissioner French?
I'm gonna agree with Patty. I actually really loved all of the photos in this category. I was super excited that the fairgrounds made it finally. I think the house is really neat, and I love when people include residential in these because we quite often get a lot of pictures of the big buildings that everyone sees and not very many residential. But I agree. I like the investing, the Latin Bush Bank building. It's just a neat photo.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner French. Any other Commissioner Kurdeman. Nope. Commissioner Thomas. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jessica.
No, sorry, I was having trouble with my stuff, so no comment from me.
Okay. And Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah, I had voted for the Cool House. I mean, I wish there was just a little more vibrancy in the color and everything, but you know, as I walk around my neighborhood, this really just to me kind of captured the essence of many of the homes in the neighborhood. And while I also love the bank building, like up close in person, I mean, it's beautiful. It's amazing. But it was just like too like industrial for me. I just like even though it's Cool House, I just kind of like the warmth, if you will, of the neighborhood. And I can just imagine how, you know, charming the interior is, let alone the exterior. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thought process. I kind of had boiled it down between those two, and was also nice to see the fairgrounds. I agree with that one.
Wonderful. Is there any additional discussion? So a question, I guess, to Kimberly and Zach, hearing no additional discussion, do we need a motion, or can we just do a all in favor of Cool House and all in favor of investing history and vote that way? Or
I think if we do it that way, we should do a roll call vote. But I think that's possible.
Or does anyone have a preference of how we vote? That seems like the most straightforward. I'm taking silence as no objection. Okay.
It's fine with me.
Perfect. All right. So, so how about when Zach calls your name, you say the photo that you are voting for as the winner of the historic exteriors, and I'll keep a tally too. So,
Commissioner Cottingham.
Investing in history.
Okay. Commissioner Kurdeman.
Investing in history.
Commissioner French.
Investing in history.
Commissioner Fuller.
Investing.
Commissioner Mulvihill.
Investing.
Commissioner Ponce.
Investing.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Gonna be the Cool House.
Commissioner Thomas.
Cool House.
And Commissioner Zimmerman.
Cool House.
Okay. According to my tally, it is 6 votes for investing in history and 3 votes for Cool House, meaning investing in history has been awarded the historic exterior adult category. I will figure out how to put that in the minutes at a later time. So our next category is historic exteriors from youth. We had a clear winner. This one received all the votes. It was the only photo in this category, but it did receive all the votes. So the winner for historic exterior in the youth category is Love for the Gilbert House. Our next one that is up for some discussion is historic interiors from adults. We have on the right, we have visitors welcome, and below there's blue ribbon. Visitors welcome did have a moderate preference in the online voting. And if we just went with the straight online voting, it would win. But I didn't know if we wanted to have I don't know if we want to have a discussion because these two received all the votes in total. So if the online voting matches what we would vote for right now, then visitors welcome would win.
Does anyone want to discuss these 2 photos, or would we like to accept the 6-3? Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah, I just had a question. I did vote for the visitors welcome one, but did we have this in the, was this submitted last year? And it just looked really familiar. Maybe because I've been in there, but I thought I saw it last year, and said, and if so, I guess you can submit again if you aren't successful. But yeah, it just looked really familiar.
Good
Do you
catch,
know,
Commissioner
Zach?
Thomas.
I am not sure. I would believe anyone. I wasn't around for last year's award, so I don't know, but it could be. But we've got multiple hands up.
Awesome. So I saw Commissioner French first.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Thomas. I'm pretty sure we saw this photo, maybe not in black and white, maybe in color last year. And that's really the only reason I didn't vote. The main reason I didn't vote for it. I also, again, really appreciate someone going to a new historic property. I think in 5 years, this is the first time I've seen fairgrounds photos, which is a really cool, it has lots of historic buildings. And I think I enjoyed both photos about equal, so I went for the one that was less familiar to me personally.
Thank you, Commissioner French. Commissioner Fuller?
I can confirm that after I voted online, I went and looked at the winners of previous year's photo contests, and yes, the Visitor's Welcome was featured previously in color. I don't know if it's the exact same picture colorized or if the camera's been moved around a little bit, but yeah, definitely the same, or the same place at least.
We got some good sleuths on our commission. This is nice. Commissioner Mulvihill.
So I don't mean to be the obnoxious lawyer on the group, but when we finish with this discussion, can we please go back and officially vote on the category for the youth? Because I don't know that our pre-voting would necessarily qualify under Oregon Public Meetings Law to have counted as an action.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you for bringing us back. Yes, we will do that. Never be afraid to be the lawyer in the group and keep us in line. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. I guess we could do a little more sleuthing to find out if the photo of the greenhouse was taken by the same person both years. Because I know it seems like, in my experience on the HLC, we've had a lot of photos from like similar locations or similar kind of viewpoints. You know, I know we've had like of the Gilbert House out there by the statue before, you know, around the state capitol. So it almost seems like a case of deja vu with some of the stuff that comes in. And if it was the case where it's the same photographer, then I definitely think we should move to strongly consider the blue ribbon one. But if it's a different photographer, you know, I think that maybe gives us a little more leeway in terms of how we view that photo.
That's a good point, Commissioner Zimmerman. I feel like Zach might be opening up records from the past to check for us. So we'll give him a second on that.
You are correct. I am opening those, but
Is that their official title? Records from the past?
Yes. Poor Commissioner Fuller probably was like, it's archivist. Is like, that's not what we call them.
And there's a lot of names for stuff, so
Thank you.
very specific.
Commissioner Cottingham.
While Zach is doing whatever he's doing, I'll move that we select the last one for the, if you could go back a slide.
I second that.
I don't remember the category exact name.
Perfect. So Commissioner Cottingham, sorry.
Yes, I move that we select Love for the Gilbert House as the historic exterior youth photo.
Is there a second?
A second.
Perfect. So Commissioner Cottingham moved and Commissioner Fuller seconded that we approve Love for the Gilbert House as the winner of the Historic Exteriors Youth category. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Wonderful, it passes. Commissioner Zimmerman, I see your hand is up. Is that still up or nope?
Oops, I forgot to unhand myself up there. Take it down. My apologies.
That's okay, no worries. Commissioner Kerdeman.
I just want to let Zach know that I put in the chat to him the link to last year's photo that was submitted that everyone keeps referencing to.
yes, so definitely Very, very, very similar. I will go ahead and stop my screen share so I can share the last year photo with you all. Where is that? I think it's this one. So it's very similar. It is the same hallway of the same building. Different flowers are in bloom. It is colorized. It's a slightly different angle. So this is the one from last year, and we're back to this one. So it is different, but it is very similar.
Was it the same category?
Same category, and I will double check that whether or not it's the same person.
Yeah, Zach, I put the name in chat, so you probably know the chats, but I didn't know if it was appropriate to say. We're trying to be non-committal here. So.
Awesome. So is there any other, while we find the name, is there any other discussion that the two photos are fairly similar but are different? We can always vote like we did for the last one if that's what we'd like to do.
They are different, different photographers.
Perfect. Any other discussion about that, or should we do a roll call vote between the two? Great. Hearing no additional discussion, Zach, can we do a vote for either visitors welcome, which is the greenhouse photo, or blue ribbon, the gates at the fairground?
Yes. Commissioner Cunningham.
Visitors welcome.
Commissioner Kurtman.
Blue ribbon.
Commissioner French.
Blue ribbon.
Commissioner Fuller.
Blue ribbon.
Commissioner Mulvihill.
Blue ribbon.
Commissioner Ponce.
Visitors welcome.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Blue ribbon.
Commissioner Thomas.
Visitors welcome.
And Commissioner Zimmerman.
Visitors welcome.
Okay, so that is a 5-4 split, with blue ribbon being having more votes. So blue ribbon, we just have to have a simple majority, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you, Lisa.
So blue ribbon has been awarded historic interiors from adults, and we had no historic interiors from the youth category. So we will move on to historic landscapes, streetscapes, and features for adults. This one, emerging from the fog, had a strong preference, getting 5 votes. Winter Rose only received 2 votes, and then we had 2 other photos that each received 1 vote. So theoretically, a majority preferred emerging from the fog, but I don't know. The last one flipped, so I'll leave you with in the polling. It was 5 for emerging from the fog, or 2021 emerging from the fog, and 2 for Winter Rose.
Thanks, Zach. Is there any discussion regarding these 2 pictures, or would we like to approve the preference emerging from the fog?
I thought we had to vote.
I'll do a motion.
I guess someone would have to make a motion. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
It's okay. I'll move that we issue the award for historic landscape, streetscape, and feature in the adults category for 2021 emerging from the fog.
I will second.
Perfect. Commissioner Mulvihill moved and Commissioner French seconded to award the historic landscape streetscape feature to emerging from the fog. Commissioner Mulvihill, to your motion.
It's kind of the same thing I said about the exterior, is that I think the photo on the right is cool. I just don't know that you necessarily get a lot of the historic landscape. I as obvious. It's there. It's just not as obvious to me as it is for the bridge. You can really see the architecture that's involved in there and how it kind of meshes with the landscape around it, which is why I selected it myself as my favorite.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other discussion about these two photos or the motion?
I'd like to say, I can't remember exactly, but I believe, I know we're judging on the photos, but also we get the information when people submit it, which has been interesting in the past. And I know that the emerging from the fog, I think they also had a comment referencing the pandemic in 2020 and kind of emerging from a fog of a year. And I would totally agree with that.
I love that. Commissioner French.
Yeah, I know we see a lot of the train bridge, but it's still personally one of my favorite things. And this, I think, takes it in a whole new, kind of looks at it from a different light. We often see just the down the alleyway. We see the far side with the way it's been built up and stuff like that. And so this was just a really neat picture, and it went well with the caption. I agree, Commissioner Cottingham, that that was really great. I do like the capturing like the ice storm and its effect on the foliage was really cool in this photo, but the train bridge just kind of took it away.
Is there any other discussion? Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah, I just had the same comment from the first slide. Like I just, just really appreciated the residential character. And we have seen the train bridge quite a bit, but I mean, I really was torn on picking these two. I mean, it could have gone either way, but I did. I was one of the people that cast my vote for the winter rose, and I'm going to stick to it. Yeah.
I like your commitment, Commissioner Thomas. Wonderful. Is there any other discussion? All right, hearing none and seeing none, all those in favor of approving the 2021 Historic Landscape Streetscape Feature Adult to Emerging from the Fog, please say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, no?
Nay.
Nay.
They,
Perfect, so that sounded like Commissioner Fuller, Thomas, and Zimmerman.
Mhm.
Motion passes. Wonderful.
So our next category is the Historic Landscape Streetscape feature in the youth category. This one also had a clear winner, received all of the votes. So this was Prettiest State Ever. And if someone would like to make a motion, or I guess you can call for that, Tracy, sorry.
No, I'll let you do it, Zach. Yeah, does anyone have a motion to approve Prettiest State Ever for our youth category?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mulvihill seconds.
Awesome. Commissioner Kerdeman moved and Commissioner Mulvihill seconded to approve Prettiest State Ever as the Historic Landscape Streetscape Feature Youth. Commissioner Kerdeman, to your motion.
I thought this was a pretty good contender too. I mean, I know it was the only one submitted, but it was, we don't necessarily have to award this award if we feel like the submittal is not up to par. But this was actually, I felt, a pretty good one for the contest. It shows the structure, it shows some of the landscaping, and even though the trees don't quite have the foliage on them, it still just captures the beauty of the early spring that this property does a really good job at almost having something blooming at every season. So I thought it was a really well done photo.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there any other discussion? All right, hearing then. Sorry, Commissioner Cottingham.
I would just echo what Commissioner Kerdeman said on this commission. At this point, it's probably no surprise. I'm in Bush Park a lot year round, daily basis, all times a day. But there's so many things like this, as she just said, that things going year round, but there's also like a timing, especially with the tulips. So it's kind of a fleeting week or two there when they're really, really looking like that. So it's great.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other discussion? Perfect. Hearing none and seeing none, all those in favor of approving Prettiest Day Ever as the historic landscape streetscape feature youth, please say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Wonderful. Congratulations to Prettiest Day Ever. And on to, I think, our last one.
Oh, we actually have two, but only, so this one is also a clear winner. There were multiple entries in this category, but this one received all the votes. So this is the Capitol Rocks, and it's the adult feature. So the model is a youth, but it was taken by an adult.
Wonderful. Is there a motion to approve the Capitol Rocks?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, I think I'm going to give that to Commissioner French. Commissioner Mulvihill moved and Commissioner French seconded to award the Capitol Rocks for the selfie pet pick with historic building adults. Commissioner Mulvihill, to your motion. Nope. Yes.
I thought it was good. I think I'm as somebody who's not all that great at selfies or whatever, being able to get that big of a close up and also get the core defining piece and aspect of the Capitol building in was, in my opinion, pretty impressive.
Thank you. Is there any additional discussion? Commissioner Fuller.
Excuse me. Yeah, I care for it. Absolutely, it's an excellent photo. And although I do wonder about the category of selfie or pet pick. Does this imply that the child is someone's pet? It's just kind of out there, but I think it's an excellent photo. I love the composition of it, so I can absolutely see why it's the clear winner.
Awesome, thank you. Any other discussion? Awesome. Seeing nothing and hearing nothing else, I just want to say this is the only Capitol photo that I will vote for this year. So it's a great one. So awesome. All those in favor of awarding the Capitol Rocks for the selfie pet pick historic building adults, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Awesome. It passes. Now on to the last one.
And so our final category is selfie or pet pick with, I guess we don't have any pet picks, but with a historic building or feature, and this is the youth category. So on the left, we have Caboose number 507, and on the right, we have how we learn history during COVID. This was a 5-4 split, so 5 voted for how we learn history during COVID, and 4 for Caboose 507. So that's what we've got.
Awesome. Is there any discussion? I have something. Sorry if someone's trying to raise their hand. I love both of these photos. I know we haven't awarded 2 winners to either, but I love both these photos, and I think it was really brave of both of these youth to do a selfie. And I love the variety. And so I just love both of these. Hint, hint, guys, maybe, I don't know. Commissioner French.
You read my mind, absolutely, Commissioner Schwartz. I had a very similar. I loved the message of how we learn history during COVID. She had it was a really adorable story, and I think this might be the youngest participant we've had in the photo contest, which I love and really encourage. And then I also really want to acknowledge the Caboose 507 because they took again, a unique historic property that no one really acknowledges in these contests. And I love when we see new places in these photos. And so I agree. I also love them both and I don't know, if we could award 2, that would be great.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yeah, and looking at both photos, there's aspects about both that I appreciate. I just really like the how we learned history during COVID, the composition of the photo in terms of the lighting, and then the girls got the mask on, and when you see the mask, it's like, oh yeah, that photo clearly was during COVID. It really kind of, it's historical in its own right in front of a historical building. You know, years down the road, you see a photo with someone with a mask on, you'll be able to kind of place that that time when that was taken. And I've got a couple of kids in the schools right now too, and I'm used to seeing them always now with my kids and the other kids always wearing masks, when it's time for school. So that one just really resonates with me.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kurdeman?
Yeah, I felt the same way with Commissioner Zimmerman, but also what struck me was where she's sitting, to where I feel like if it wasn't COVID, maybe this photo would be taken inside or a more full picture. And this is probably diving way too deep into the photo, but it's a very limited image of the structure that she's visiting, and it's kind of far away from the front door. So it's a kind of that distance learning, narrowing on where the youth can or cannot go during COVID, especially in the beginning when we didn't know where COVID survives on surfaces and fabrics and that sort of thing. So I really like this photo for a lot of reasons, and whether the intent of that was behind it, I'm not sure. Maybe it was just that is where she got to go, and that's just the reality of it. So anyways, I really enjoyed this photo a lot.
I love the analysis. Thank you, Commissioner Kurdeman. Is there any other discussion or emotion? Commissioner Thomas.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say I voted for the caboose one. I just like the composition, the color. You got the yellow and the blue and what he's wearing, and the kind of the red post. So you got like the primary color, not primary, but and then you got all these vertical elements and horizontal elements, and the horizontal elements in his shirt. And I just was really drawn to that photo more than the other one. Not that I don't like the other one, but that was my preference. So
awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Mulvihill. Sorry, Jamie.
Similar to what I think somebody else said. I think I liked the one with the little girl with the mask on, mostly because when I think of selfies, the historic aspect is what's behind them. And in this instance, to the point that I think was already made, it's two types of history here. Usually you're not historic when you take a selfie yourself, but I think even 20 years from now, 50 years from now, it's not just the building behind her that's historic, it will be the period of time that it clearly represents in the present. And I just thought it was a unique opportunity to insert a historic aspect to the person taking the photo as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner Mulvihill. Commissioner French?
I'm gonna move to award the selfie pet pick with historic building or feature youth category to both of the photos that we see here.
Is there a second? Commissioner Thomas, I see your hand up.
Yeah, second.
Commissioner French moved and Commissioner Thomas seconded to award the selfie pet pick youth category to both Caboose 507 and How We Learn History During COVID. Commissioner French, anything additional to your motion?
I think there's been a lot of arguments made. I think we're all pretty torn. I think there's a lot of great reasons to love both of these photos. And so I don't want to choose. And I also like to, again, give out more prizes if we can. So I think it's a great honor to keep them both interested in history in the long run, hopefully.
Is there any other discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none and seeing one. I agree, Jamie. I think both these photos are great. And again, to get youth interested in history, and they both pick such interesting sites. I'm always really impressed with them. And again, I think it just shows a lot of bravery for young kids to enter into this, especially as a selfie when you're maybe at your most like shy or insecure. And so I'm really proud of the youth in our community for this. So all in favor of approving both Caboose 507 and How We Learn History During COVID for the selfie pet pick youth category, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, no.
No.
Zach, did you get that?
Sorry, I couldn't tell whose voice that was. Who said no?
That was me, Zach.
That was you. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, I think that is our last thing to vote on. And then we have the chair award. And I thought it was hard to have to pick another chair. And so these are kind of the two that I came down to. I really appreciated the representation of the fairgrounds this year. I live really close to it, but I often forget it's there and that it has historic elements to it. And then I did also really like I think it was Winter Rose with the ice storm, just because I think that was such a historic event that we had this year. And so I don't think I'm allowed to have two. I think I have to pick one. But so I think with that, I'm going to pick the one with the ice storm, Winter Rose. Yes, I think I will never forget how cold I was and how sad I was without power as long as I live. And so I think that picture really resonated with me. So awesome. Patty, how did we do?
Much better. I didn't feel like we duplicated efforts.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys for that. With that, we've finished all of our Historic Preservation Month awards. I'm so excited that we get to do this. And so with that, I'm going to pass it to Kimberly for the Historic Preservation Month proclamation.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be giving a shout out to Tracy. She did a great job. She went to City Council on May 10th, and the mayor read the annual proclamation we do here in Salem, declaring Historic Preservation Month. And I don't know if any of you have seen the Salem Reporter article today, but I totally stole her quote that she that she read at council, which if you do get a chance to take a look at that, it's a really cool quote. And I do want to turn it, back over to Tracy, who's been talking a lot tonight. I don't know if you happen to bring it, or if you have it. We don't have to take time. I know it's getting late, but you did a really wonderful job, I just want to say. And I know Lisa's here, and I was not feeling great. I had my COVID shot on that Saturday, so I was sort of paying attention, but then I wanted to be there for you, Tracy, and you did just a wonderful job. So I just want to say that back to you. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I won't, I'll just share the quote with you guys that I found in President Nixon's first proclamation in May '73, when it was just Historic Preservation Week. And in it, he wrote, "America's history is told not only in books, museums, and monuments, but also across the face of the land itself and along the streets of our cities and towns. Our lives can be immeasurably enriched by preserving as an integral part of modern America some of the settings in which generations before us have lived and worked." And I thought that was just a nice summary of why we do what we do. Awesome. Thank you, Kimberly, and thank you to Mayor Bennett for issuing the Historic Preservation Month proclamation, if you're watching. So with that, we have our work plan assignment updates and check-ins. I don't have my list in front of me, so maybe I will start with Commissioner Cottingham, if you'd like to provide an update on the Bush Pasture Landscape Committee, that name I always butcher.
I don't have I don't have an update other than pass it to staff. I believe that at some point we're going to get we can get a report on
Next month.
Final next month. There you go. So that's my report. So next month we will get a full report.
Perfect. Commissioner Thomas, do you have an update from the Culture and Heritage Forum? Oop, you're on mute. Oh no, I caught you during dinner.
I did. I had
Sorry.
to get a snack, and so I stopped my video. Well, that's okay. I'm done. Yes, we are nearing completion to our multimodal tour project that we received a grant for. We did not receive the other grant, the Travel Oregon grant, which we applied for, which would have really upgraded this to something pretty amazing with all the signage and interpretive panels and everything that we applied for, but we did not receive that. But by the end of June, I have a timeline. I don't know if I can share my screen or if it's even that important, but maybe I can just tell you what we have got relative to a timeline, but I can't because I lost it where'd it go? Anyways, end of June, we actually have a draft. Oh, here it is. Sorry. So the proof from the designer, Kimberly, you can confirm if that proof is ready to go. But then next week, our committee is going to proof all the notes into one document. Then we're going to, send that back to the designer, back and forth. And then we're going to end of the month, end of next week. Wow. Yeah, it's almost the end of May. Send a proof to all the organizations that have been involved. And then we're going to take any final edits the following week. And then our printing proof rounds will be the week of June 7th. And we're hoping to print in mid-June, which gives us a little padding to be done because we got to be done by the end of June. Did I get all that right, Kimberly?
Yeah, you did a good job. We've been doing a lot of work in a very short amount of time, and it's all coming together. So yeah, good overview.
And
Awesome.
Jessica did a great job providing coordinates. I mean, and again, this is one of the reasons that the award goes to the Salem Heritage Forum. I mean, Ross and Yvonne have been pretty amazing in getting this thing together. I was having a minor freak out that we weren't far enough along, and I think Kimberly shared in that with me. But I think we're on track now to get this done, and it should be a pretty good project. Well, we're gonna have a better walking tour than Independence.
I like to hear it. Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner French, do you have any updates on the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial?
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute. No, I do not. That passed the Parks Commission before the last meeting I attended. And I believe they have been, as part of the Parks Commission approval, they can start doing their final design work and stuff like that. They will probably be reaching out at some point to discuss what the interpretive panels and things like that will look like. And that should be open to any and everyone to participate. So we can choose to participate in that as well. I think that's the next thing we can expect from that. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I know they want to break ground before the end of the year. So they kind of probably need to get on it pretty quick.
Awesome. Thank you, Commissioner French. Commissioner Ponce has hit the ground running with his new committee assignments. Do you have any updates?
Well, I just have an update. It's not much in the way of forward motion, but we hope to have the survey questions by mid-June and send those out. And, we're going to try and cover our bases with the historic HOA that show the most interest. So that's where we're at.
I think Commissioner Ponce was perfect for that role. He's really done an awesome job getting Kimberly and I to get it going. So thank you so much for your work on that. And then Commissioner Zimmerman, anything to say about the Facebook page? If you guys are not following, you should be, because he is so great at it. Like, I learn something new all the time. So anything you want to share about that?
I'm always looking to try to find things that engage folks with different photos or different discussions, that kind of stuff. So I'm always looking for different leads on that kind of thing. So if anybody's got any ideas, just toss them my way. As I have more time available, I always try to dig around and think, okay, well, what might be fun? What might catch somebody's attention? So I try to make it something that somebody enjoys, not something that's just kind of focused on our meetings or something like that. That's why I try to change out the photos and different stuff like that. So yeah, anybody's got any ideas, please let me know.
Awesome. Thank you. And did I forget any committees or subcommittees? Anyone else have any updates for work plan assignments? All right. Hearing and seeing nothing. Zach, help us get some newsletter assignments.
Commissioner Kurtman had their hand up, but I don't know if they wanted to say anything.
Shoot, sorry, Jessica. I closed my hand up thing. Commissioner Kurtman.
Yeah, I was going to ask Commissioner Zimmerman, the Facebook page, does it happen to be linked to any other accounts, any other social media accounts?
No, it's kind of been I've talked to Kimberly about this. It's kind of been a pain. I don't know who set it up, but like accessing it at times has been kind of headache. I mean, I'll put stuff on like Twitter and like longer stuff like on our WordPress page, but it's really funky to get into. I'll have to shoot you an
feel
email
like-
or something to get into the particulars with it, but sometimes it allows you in, sometimes it doesn't.
I feel like
Like I
we
said, I don't know who
need to
set
get a
it
new
up to
one.
begin with, but it's definitely wonkier than it probably should be.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know, Andy. I think that, yeah, I've seen the errors and stuff too. And I would encourage you if you want. I don't know how much difficulty it would be to open a new one if we lose a bunch of stuff, if you do that or not. I don't know.
I'm not sure if we would need to start from scratch or not. That's kind of been my fear is,
Yeah.
you know, we've kind of started to get a little bit of momentum in terms of more likes and things like that from the public, and then starting a new one from scratch. I mean, we potentially could, but like I said, I mean, it works enough to kind of get in there to do things, but it's like if I'm trying to schedule a post down the road, sometimes it lets me, and then sometimes it gives me an error message, and
Yeah.
I don't know. So I mean, I'm open to whatever the commission would like to do with that kind of stuff, you know, going forward. If anybody's got any suggestions or, you know, ways to improve it, please, you know, please let me know or something, and we can, you know, tackle that and find a better solution on trying to make it more functional for folks.
Yeah, I might send you an email, see if I can help in any way.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Perfect. So I think now officially to newsletter assignments.
For this summer newsletter, we had discussed potentially writing articles on things that were featured in the photo contest. So if anyone has a photo that they would like to write an article for, let me know.
Query. I was looking at these photos, and I was kind of trying to formulate an idea about like which one of these could I pick to write an article about, and it came to my thinking: have we written about the park yet? Like just in general, because that was the backdrop for like a whole bunch of our photo submissions, and I think it could be and we just awarded an award for cultural landscape to folks that were working on it. Like, I was going through some, like as many of y'all's previous writings as I could find on your website, or our website, but I couldn't find anything. So I was wondering if that was something that would be open for discussion. I would love to write it if that's open.
I say done and done. Let's do it.
Wonderful. Oh, great. Yeah.
I will write your name down so I can accost you for that article later.
So from what I remember, sorry, go ahead, Brett.
When should we have these? I have already started working on it. Surprise, surprise. But when should we get these up and ready for y'all?
Let me double check. I want to get it out the week of. I'm thinking June 20, like around June 20th, the week of the summer solstice.
Great. Yeah, so right when it starts.
So maybe like a week before that, because I now have complete access to the MailChimp, that's what it's called. So yeah, and then Commissioner Mulvihill.
So this is going to be super needy, and you can tell me no. I don't have a plan to be out on the road again in the coast to do a travel article until June 21st. Can you release it on June 23rd and I give you the article on the 22nd so I actually have photos?
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I'm just thinking that sometime that week. So if we do it on the Friday or whatever, I don't know what actual days those are, but
I mean, I'll drive over early if you want me to. I just know that I don't have to be there for work until the 21st.
Yeah, no, I think that would be fine as long as the commission is okay with that.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
And then I'm hoping to get at least one more, maybe two more articles out of you all.
I could, Zach, I could do the railroad bridge.
Okay.
Now, would you want the story to kind of play off of the photo, or do you want it more just straight across?
Whatever you feel inspired to write.
Okay.
I think that there's value in both. So,
Okay.
does anyone else feel excited about writing about one of our historic sites featured in the photos? I will take that silence as a no, and I think that we'll have enough content for the newsletter, because we'll also have an article announcing all the winners and whatnot. So
Yeah, and Zach, just so you know, I plan on my article being about like the development of the HABS program, the Historic American Building Survey, and like photography during the Great Depression and like the WPA and kind of a lot of the photos that we look back on today as historic, and kind of, you know, the history of photography and buildings. And so it might be a little bit longer than a normal like chair's letter. So that might eat up some space.
that sounds great. Then I think we'll have a fantastically full newsletter for our summer.
Perfect. And it sounds like the due date for that, if we can get try to get everything to Zach by June 18th.
If we're gonna
minus
sure, let's say
Patty's
June
bonus.
18th. Yeah.
June 18th.
Yeah, with the exception for Patty.
Yes. Perfect. Awesome. And great. So I think that's all of our discussion items, unless anyone had anything else.
I really wanted to give a shout out to Commissioner Mulvihill's Ghost Town drive-through that was in the last newsletter. I thought that was excellent, and way to make use of those resources from the Secretary of State's office. Really, really killer article. So that was that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Commissioner French.
I have one thing. The Archaeology Roadshow this year, which typically takes place in Portland, is all digital. So if you're interested in archaeology, starting June 1st, there is, I believe, an event almost every day at a different time on a different subject. Archaeologyroadshow.org is the website, and they'll have links to all of those if you're interested.
Awesome. Nice plug. Cool. All right. Hearing and seeing nothing else, let's turn it over to our 2021 Historic Preservation Chair Award winner, Kimberly Fitzgerald, for her Historic Preservation Officer report.
I love it. That's how I'm going to always introduce myself. Okay, cool. I'm going to try to give you sort of a general update to loop you in, because I know you probably noticed things are a little bit different this year since we adopted our new code. And I also want to just give you a sense for what Zach and I are doing behind the scenes, and Lisa too. And so we've got on your screen, you're seeing we have about 11 historic cases we've done to date. As this compares to last year, we're about the same amount of cases that we're processing for just regular historic design review. You can see archaeology on the other side of the screen. So we're also processing those. Just to give you a sense, I've also got some numbers up there. Back in 2019, if you remember the way back times, we were up to 17 at this time in 2019. And then it goes up and down, of course, depending on development and stuff of things. So I just wanted to give you a sense. The difference, I've got the types on the right-hand side of that little table I screen captured. And so the biggest difference that you're probably seeing is that we added a process. It's a type, what we call a type 2 process, which we used to just have two types, a type, essentially a historic type 1 and a type 3, so minor and major. And now we have this kind of middle process, which it really encourages historic property owners, if they meet our standards, then they get to have that minor review. So if it clearly meets it, and we've actually had a lot of folks change their design to meet that standards, not because they don't love you, but because they're like, oh wait, this seems faster, more straightforward, just tell me what I need to do. So that's kind of what you're seeing, why you're seeing less public hearings. So I just wanted to kind of explain that, since you probably noticed you get more time to just talk about all the fun stuff. And then The next thing I just wanted to talk about was just give you kind of a legislative update. If you remember a few months ago, we did talk a little bit about the changes proposed for the special assessment program. I know I could quiz all of you and you would be able to tell me exactly what those were. Well, there's been no action on them. No, the legislature, they're still in session. They're actually, I think they're going to try and get out of there by the middle of June. I think that's what Eunice said. And they haven't voted on either of these. So the latest that I heard was that Senate Bill 108 still in committee. There were 2 amendments proposed. They're still holding on to the idea of just keeping it available for commercial properties. And just one interesting note, we just got an application I just received for another property owner who's residential who wants to enroll in the program in Salem. So I know we had kind of talked about that, but here in Salem, it seems like the folks who own residential properties still would like to be able to take advantage of that program. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. The House Bill 2447, that extension of just the current program as it is also in committee. And as I understand it, nobody's set a date to take any action. So it may just, both may just die. I have no idea what's going to happen. So that's all I had. Jamie, I'm glad you talked about the roadshow. If you didn't, I was going to make you talk about it.
Yes, and Commissioner French, you have your hand up.
I also have another legislative update. The Historic Cemeteries Bill did pass, and the governor signed it last week, I believe. So that now defines a historic cemetery as anything 75 years or older, more in line with the archaeological definition. Previously, it was anything that was any cemetery that was established and had burials prior to April 14th, 1909, I believe. 50 years from statehood was the old definition, which meant a lot of our things on the east side weren't eligible, and a lot of the things that happened just kind of after that weren't eligible. So this will expand the historic cemetery program.
I like good news. Yay.
Thank you. Perfect. Are there any other questions for Kimberly about her officer report? Perfect. Thank you, Kimberly, for providing that context on case review, as well as the legislative update.
Sure thing.
So if there are no more items, looks like nothing, we will adjourn. I lost my... So thank you guys. Congrats on a great Historic Preservation Month and award winners. Is there anything? I think we're still recording.